Good morning, everyone. Boker Tov. This week's Torah portion begins the fifth book of the Torah, Devarim, Deuteronomy. It's 37 days before Moses' passing, and he begins to subtly address the Jewish people by referencing the various mistakes and shortcomings, failings, and sins that they committed over the 40 years of their sojourn in the desert. And a rabbi say, why does Moses wait to the end of his life to rebuke the Jewish people? And our rabbis say that Moses learned from Jacob. When Jacob is on his deathbed and his children are gathered around his bed, that is the time he starts to speak to them again about the mistakes they've made, the errors in their ways. Why did Jacob wait till the end of his life? Because if you reprimand somebody, they often reject your rebuke. And one of the rationalizations for rejecting what you're saying is, oh, they have an agenda, they have a personal motive, a gain. Who are they to tell me? Because we naturally don't want to hear about our failings. When a person's about to pass away, in effect what they're saying is, I'm leaving this world. Your actions will no longer impact me. Therefore, the only reason I'm telling you this is for your own benefit, because I care about you. It's not about me. Often when a parent tells a child to do something or not do something, the child thinks, well, that's what my parent wants because it's easier or beneficial for them. So Jacob waits till his deathbed, and Moses says, I will do the same. And what the rabbis are teaching us is that the secret, the key to being able to give proper rebuke is when the person you are teaching and trying to improve recognizes that you're doing it without any ulterior motive, that you have no personal gain or interest. You're doing it out of love and concern for their best interest and well-being. You know, it's now in the 9 days. And in the 9 days, we retrospect about our failings as a Jewish nation that led to the destruction of the temple and the exile, and how we could merit the redemption and the rebuilding of the temple. And it's interesting that universally this is referred to as the 9 days. The 9 days from Tisha B'Av, from Rosh Chodesh Av to Tisha B'Av. Why do we refer to it by the number of days? And perhaps there's a message in the number 9. We know that in Judaism, the number 9 is the number of truth, because the word for truth is emet. Emet, numerical value, the gematria is 441. 4 plus 4 plus 1 equals 9. So 9 represents the number of truth. That's why if you times 9 by any other number, like 9 times 9 is 81, 8 and 1 equals 9 again. It always comes back to 9, no matter what the number is, because it's consistent. Furthermore, if you look at the Torah, it begins with the letter Bet. Why wouldn't the Torah begin with Aleph? Why with Bereshit? And a rabbi say, because if you count every 3 letters from Bet, for example, Bet Gimel Daled is 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4 is 9. Then you take the next 3 letters. Hey, Vav, Zayin, 5, 6, and 7 is 18. 1 and 8 is 9. And you can do that through all the letters of the Hebrew alphabet, and it always equals 9. But here's another idea about the number 9, which is the number of truth, representing these 9 days. You see, if you take any number, let's take a simple number. You take the number 123, 1, 2, 3. And then you add up 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 is 6. You take the whole number, which is 123, and you minus 6, you're left with 117. 1, 1, and 7 equals 9. And you could do this with any number, no matter how short and long. If you add up all the single digits, minus it, take it out of the whole number, add up the remaining digits, it always comes to 9. But it's not a coincidence, there's a message here. And the message is, how do you get to truth? You have to remove yourself from the picture. You have to be objective. You have to make sure that you don't have a personal interest and agenda or benefit. And if you look at it objectively, removing your ego, removing yourself, you will get to the truth. And that's why when you add up the digits and minus it from the total number, you'll get back to 9, which is the number of truth. And these 9 days are days of seeking truth in our lives as individuals and our collective lives as a Jewish nation. On Sunday, I went with Dini and our son down to Fort Lauderdale to visit family, and then we went for a walk on the Hollywood beach. And I ran into this African-American young man. He started talking to me. He saw I had a kippah. He said, "You're Jewish, do you study Torah?" And then he says, "If you want, I would like you to take my number and stay in touch with me." I said, "Why?" He says, "Because I hear a lot of anti-Semitism in my community, the black community." He says, "But I don't believe a word, because a lot of people say bad things about the black community, and I know it's all lies. So I'm not going to believe what they say about the Jewish people. I want to talk to someone who really is Jewish, who studies Torah, who knows how to study Torah," he said, "in Hebrew, not the translation. And I want to understand more about the Jewish people." And we exchanged numbers. And I had such admiration and respect for this young man, because he was smart enough to say, "I'm not just going to take the word of others, even if they're part of my own community. I want to seek the objective truth." And that's what the number 9 represents. The 9 days, the number 9 means let us seek for the truth. And we do that by removing ourselves and our own ego from the picture. Have a wonderful day.